welcome to another edition of Prescott Talks here at Prescott E-News. I'm David McNabb, the host of this edition, and I want to introduce to you Kyle Maestri, my guest today from Trinity Christian School. Thanks for being here, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. Can we start with a little history about yourself and then the school?
Yeah, just as many people, I came from that faraway place that starts with a C. I came from California about 21 years ago, and as I graduated from college, came out to Prescott and eventually ended up teaching here, and then met my wife here. Have been engaged in education since then at Trinity. I've been there 21 years. This is our 21st school year at Trinity Christian. Along the way, we've had 4 beautiful daughters that are now 17, 15, 13, and 11. So
that'll keep you on your toes.
Yeah. It's it definitely has adventure every day. A big part of my sanctification.
All right, really good, very good. So what school did you graduate from, and what degree did you get?
Yeah, I graduated from Biola University.
That is a Christian school.
Yep.
And I was just down the road from you at Pepperdine University.
Okay.
We're not really competing. We love each other.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, I had the honor of being part of the Torrey Honors College there, a great books program that really just gave me a solid foundation and understanding kind of Western civilization. And then I coupled that with a degree in philosophy and a minor in theology. And so that really was so formational for me as an experience to think deeply about the things that I'm engaged in today, and had a great time. It was such a good experience. Had great mentors, built lifelong friendships.
Yes.
Just was really, really blessed to be at that school at the time.
Excellent. And when you moved out to, was it Prescott at that time when you moved out here, just after you graduated?
Yeah, actually came out to the Valley first. My parents moved over from Anaheim to Mesa at that time with my dad's job change. And I was the quintessential philosophy major.
With no job.
With no job, exactly.
What a surprise.
Lots of dreams in my heart. And, but yeah, no job. And it really just went through a great season. It didn't feel great at the time, a time of wilderness.
Yep.
I was living in my grandparents' fifth wheel in the backyard, working at a video store with my honors degree in my back pocket and $20,000 of debt. And through that, that's how I was called into teaching. And I was really glad to be called into that space. I just loved working with kids when I was in high school, did some camps while I was in college. Kind of resisted that for a little while, and ultimately landed exactly where I am today.
Now, did you start teaching in public school or private?
I started out in Mesa Public Schools as a substitute while I was kind of thinking through what my next step was. And then eventually I was in a very small private school here in town for about a year before Trinity started. And then that was a very small private school at the time. We started with 32 students. We opened.
And you started that yourself with your own ambition?
Well, I was invited into a room with some concerned parents who were excited about doing this, and they said, "We want you to come with us." My girlfriend at the time is now my wife. They said, "We want you guys to come with us and start this school." We said, "That sounds exciting." And then they said, "We want you to be our leader." And I said, "I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 23 years old." And they said, I'll never forget, they said something along the lines of, well, we don't know what we're doing either. We'll all learn together. Come on. And so we started that summer with 5 students in the mix. And then by the end of that summer, we opened in Chino Valley with 32 students. I taught on one side of a curtain in a modular. My wife taught on the other side. And then we just expanded year after year after year to where now we have over 500 students on 2 campuses.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's 21 years?
21 years. 21 years. My wife and I like to say it's our 5th daughter, right? We kind of have 4 daughters, but we also have this other child
that's right.
Has come of age.
Yes,
so.
It needs a lot of nourishment.
Yeah.
So your title is Headmaster.
I am. That's the title they give me. I don't carry a big stick or have a long white beard.
Long beard might look good on you.
Yeah. Well, someday it's coming. The gray's starting to come. But no, I was honored with that title from the board based on, and I did a little research on it. I said I need to know what this means. Typically at the time you were calling school leaders administrators, and what I found was that the term is certainly from a different era, where it's clear that the school leader is not just an administrator of the programs, but sees themselves as a teacher of the faculty. And that actually fits really well with me. I am a teacher at heart, and I love to teach teachers how to teach at this stage. So it's such a joy.
So that is going on at Trinity Christian School.
Yeah.
You're teaching these teachers how they should be teaching the kids.
Yeah, I have a team now. We've built, as a classical Christian school, teachers don't come out of college ready to teach that way. Those are what we like to say is we're working to repair the ruins of Western civilization, and that's going to take generational work. And so we understand that as teachers come out of college, they're not equipped to teach this way. We weren't either. And so now we've built an internal training institute at the school that we've actually had some other schools joining us from time to time, and we're looking to expand that. But really it allows us to have a real opportunity for teachers to come and learn and grow with us. And, classical Christian education is just hard. It's not easy to teach in the way that is very meaningful for our students and the way that historically teaching's been done. And so we're about the business of continually being a learning environment for our teachers to learn how to teach as well. So we're lifelong learners on the staff, and we model that for our students.
Okay, that's good. I think most people know that Christian education is Christ-centered.
Yeah.
And you're going to focus on that. They're going to learn about the Bible. They're going to learn about some theology in there, maybe some church history.
For sure.
But tell us about classical learning, because a lot of people are not familiar with that.
Yeah. Really, the distinctive of classical education, I like to say, just as a starting point, is really just think about the why of education. If we think about the why of education through the lens of modern education, we think about more about building a job force, building a career for somebody, taking the steps to go to college, then to get a career, and think about those kinds of things. Where traditionally education's been more about what's happening in the person's soul and how are they becoming a person of wisdom and virtue and who's ready to serve other people. Mm-hmm. So it really has a different aim in terms of they're certainly building skills. They learn how to read well, write well, think well, speak well, all the things the job market wants. That's not our primary target. Our primary target in classical education is what kind of person is it? What kind of citizen is this going to be? What kind of father is this going to be in a family, or a mother? What kind of a person as a member of their church is going to be a contributor to society, and thinking deeply about how we order their loves. What kind of wisdom do they have? Because if you think carefully about it, if all we do is focus on skills and information, you really can do a lot on YouTube, frankly. I mean, I don't mean to say it too rough, but you can accomplish a lot online if that's your only focus. But if your focus is you need to learn certain things that you need to learn in community, you need to learn how to be challenged in a conversation, to look someone in the eye and have a clear ability to listen and then have a persuasive conversation back. When you want to think carefully about how things are integrated into each other and make connections between literature and art and music and philosophy and theology, that really helps build a character of what a person is, then we've got to do education differently if we're going to want those results. And thankfully, we have this beautiful cultural heritage that classical Christian education provided to Western civilization for centuries. And we abandoned it in the 20th century to our peril based on the fruit that we see now. So we're kind of a part of a movement that's saying, let's go back and learn from that and try to prepare a new generation of creators and innovators and entrepreneurs who have this worldview to love and serve and have character in what they're doing.
Excellent. Now, that kind of learning necessitates that there's a lot of one-on-one going on, so the teacher knows the student individually.
Yeah.
And now the public schools have a class size of 30, 35. What are your class size?
Yeah, my heart goes out to any teacher that's teaching more than about 20 or 24 students. So our class size goes no bigger than 24 is our goal, but our average class sizes are closer to 17. And so in that environment, you're exactly right. There's a relational connection with our students. And as we all just learned through this crazy global experiment known as COVID, we've learned how important face-to-face learning is, how important that relationship between teachers and students and that mentorship that can grow. That is one of the secret sauces as far as I'm concerned when it comes to education. Education is meant to be communal and relational, and students thrive in that environment where they know that they're loved, they have a relationship. This person cares about me beyond what I'm just producing. They know me, they know my family, and then we can even doubly provide through classical Christian education the side that parents are engaged. When there's alignment between the parents and the school, I mean, what teacher hasn't taught in a classroom that doesn't want that? Yes. It's just this beautiful thing. And so we have raving fans. I don't know how to say it. I got a line at the door of people who want in, and I can't provide for all of them. We have 95% retention. Our families are staying with us. So I think they're responding to these really unique opportunities that we have to provide education in this environment.
Do you have a waiting list of students?
We do. It's this time of year, it's around 200 students. I would love
on the waiting list.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I would love to serve them.
And that's because you refuse to have a 35 students in the classroom.
Yeah, it's just not going to work.
You just keep it up.
It's not going to work.
Because I've been in education for 39 years. And I know that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
To have quality education, to have smaller classrooms.
Yeah.
So teacher can give more individual attention to the particular needs of every student.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that education is not just information transfer, right? It's transformational. And so that teacher needs to be able to know what those students need to provide to them individually. And we train our teachers in that regard as well. So.
Well, no wonder you have such a big waiting list to get in there.
Yeah, it's a joy. I have the best job in the world.
You guys are doing it right
all the time. Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So tell me about the senior thesis, because that's something that other schools don't do. You're doing.
Yeah, and actually gratefully, I'm hearing more and more schools taking this on in both the public and private sphere, because I think we understand that this is such a helpful thing. But our students, we prepare them all the way up through high school. We take what we call a 12 to K approach through our curriculum. We look at what do we want them to do at the end of their high school. So we're building those skills, we're building those habits all the way from the beginning. So when they get to their senior year, we want to work with them very closely and actually allow them to choose an independent project that they choose of their choosing, a topic of their choosing. They submit a topic for review, and then they're assigned a faculty mentor to independently walk through a process of drafting about 20 to 25 page paper over a series of drafts through the semester. They do about 30 hours of research on their own, 25 to 30 hours. Students most of the time go above that. And then at the conclusion of, after they've worked through several drafts, it's multi-draft, it's multidisciplinary in nature, then they prepare to present to the community. And so then once they've done that, then they actually present to it's open to the public. We have about 100 to 150 people that attend typically. And they present for about 15 to 20 minutes their findings and their thesis, arguing for a biblical worldview perspective on that particular issue, and then dealing with opposing ideas as they come up and then responding to them. And then we ask them questions as a faculty for about 10 minutes, and they need to defend what they've said. So it's very much like the old school master's thesis, and modeled after that. And our students just thrive after that. I can't tell you how transformational that experience is for our graduates. They just tell us, you made us go through such difficulty. When we got to college, we're the ones helping our friends draft their papers and ready for their presentations.
After going to Trinity Christian.
It's an honor to prepare them in that. And we have students who sometimes struggle with that, and we have scaffolding that we put in place. We help those students. We maybe make a smaller environment, but every student is going to do it. And what we think that demonstrates is a capstone is classical education is about learning how to learn for yourself. So can you in your senior year demonstrate that you're ready to know how to think and learn for yourself so that you can go on and be a lifelong learner? This project proves that they're ready.
I love that you're doing that. And I knew someone, family that went to the school there at Trinity Christian and was excited about doing that thesis and told me all about it. And it was just loved to present it. And he did a good job and learned a lot in the process. And the campus itself is new and beautiful out there on Deepwell Ranch Road.
Yes.
And it's got you've just built a new gym there.
Yep.
So you have all kinds of activities in. What are your sports teams?
Yeah, we're competing across the state in women's volleyball, cross country, boys and girls, golf, boys and girls, baseball, basketball. We're starting up track and field this spring, and then we also have a robotics group that competes regionally. And then we have some soccer team at the junior high level. We're not quite at the high school level just yet. But yeah, we're working to grow our programs incrementally so that our students can thrive in the things that they do. And they've been doing quite well. We have a couple state championships under our belt that have really been a blessing for our students.
That's amazing.
But really, the extension of character and discipleship opportunities for coaches in our sports program is our emphasis. We love to win. But more than anything, we love to build men and women of character on those teams.
That's what it's all about, and I'm glad you're doing it here in Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah,
we need that kind of education, that kind of quality character building.
Thank you.
That you are doing there at Trinity Christian School in Prescott.
Thank you.
And how do people want to find out about you? Get on the waiting list or learn more about you? What do they do? Yeah,
they can come to our website at trinitychristianaz.com. There's lots of information for families, for community members that just want to work into being a volunteer, opportunities to sub, opportunities to engage and support the school. We're working to expand this opportunity for more families, and so we'd love support from the community in that regard as well. We have opportunities to enroll right now that we're looking at. Again, we have that wait list, but not in all grades, and so there is room for us in the high school.
And you do start at grade 1 or kindergarten?
We start in kindergarten and go up through 12th grade.
And go through 12th. Okay, well, thank you for being my guest today on Prescott Talks. It was great to hear about Trinity Christian School, and you are a huge asset to our community.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
This has been David McNabb, your host today on Prescott Talks. Thanks for listening, watching the show, and come back whenever you can. God bless.